Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game numero dos from DarKFoRcE and WhiteRa. What is up with these Spanish introductions? I don't know why I've been doing this. The past couple of commentaries I've done, I've been numero dos, numeros tres. I think it's because it was Cinco de Mayo just the other day, and I went out with the lady. We had a couple of nice beverages. She just turned 21, so that's exciting. And yeah, it was fun. So maybe that's why I am in the Spanish mood. La Pasión, if you will. La Pasión. So anyways, here we go. WhiteRa versus DarKFoRcE, game number 2, this time on Xel'Naga Caverns. And I quite enjoy this map. I've mentioned that before. This is, I don't know, it's a kind of a map that, for one reason or another, is really fun to cast on and also really fun to play on. I just really like the dynamics. I like the split kind of across the middle here, angular. Both players getting that, of course, now the natural, that third at these both possible positions, that high yield third there, and then that possible fourth as well. And actually, I've seen some players actually cut it from this direction, so going for their fourth here. So, for example, WhiteRa actually trying to get down his fourth here, since that main wide entrance would face his direction, as opposed for WhiteRa trying to cut this angle and go for his fourth here, and then having to basically run his units around here to defend that. So that's another way to look at it as well. You can cut it either this way across as your half, or you can cut it this way across as your half. So yeah, there you go. So anyways, WhiteRa going to be moving on down with this scout, and yes, there you have it. Let's see what DarKFoRcE is doing. DarKFoRcE is just going to be opening up one base play, going to be getting that extractor first. That's going to let him get that metabolic boost right away. Wonderful insight there for us. We do, of course, have this Overlord moving down. Why is he moving down? He is checking for any sort of probe shenanigans. He wants to see if there's like cannons going down back here or any garbage like that. He wants to make sure that if there is a pylon block off going down at his expo, that he's at least aware of it. The other Overlord going to be heading on over here, and actually probably going to be cutting right back into that corner, I think. First checking the front there, and then cutting right in that corner. He should be nice and safe up there, unless there are Phoenixes that come into play. And what he's going to do actually is kind of chill it out over here, and then use it for secondary scouting later down the road, and there you go. So anyways, Scout moving on in, and what is he seeing? He is seeing nothing but the ordinary. No second gas right now, so not any crazy super fast tech, not like a fast DT or anything like that. Wouldn't expect that here from WhiteRa, just because he probably would have had that gas by now. So there you go. DarKFoRcE with that Overlord Scout going to be spotting that probe. We're going to see those 4 Zerglings come out and take care of that probe, and then probably going to see DarKFoRcE just go for that Expo after that point. Last game we did see WhiteRa go for that Forge Fast Expand. Obviously this game, not the same thing happening. So I'm going to expect after these first 4 Zerglings, DarKFoRcE just going to drone up, go for that Expo sometime pretty soon as well. It's usually around 21, and you can see pulling up those resources, and there you have it. So there's that Expo. So there you go. That's a really nice, safe Zerg opener. You're getting out those that fast metabolic boost for those Zerglings for some really nice scouting. You do get that Expo. It's a little bit delayed as opposed to what's a fast expand like a 15 hatch or a 16 hatch. Going for that hatch at 21 instead, a little bit delayed, but you've got that extra security. And then obviously pulling the guys off that gas to go back to mining, so you can drone up really hard, get those queens, and get those Zerglings if need be. Let's take a look for WhiteRa here. Does have one gateway up. There is a second gateway, and that is it right now. So maybe seeing a quick expansion from him as well. No, he's not going for a 4-gate. There's a third gateway. Maybe just 3-gate expand. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I'm going to say right now. 3-gate expand, Sentry heavy, very, very nice build. As a Protoss player, very effective against Zerg as well. It's going to let you deal with early game Zerglings, Banelings, and Roaches, in fact, because the Sentries can do pretty good against Roaches as well. As predicted, DarKFoRcE droning up pretty hard, finally getting back on the gas. He's going to want to move up to layer tech as soon as he hits 100 Vespian after that point, dropping that creep tumor, then heading on down to that hatchery. Of course, wanting to connect those bases, very, very important. There's that Roach Warren. Of course, Roaches, so very effective against a Protoss army. So here are our 3 gateways. Here comes some additional sentries. There is some random ass typing. Someone had to get removed from the game, and here comes that Expo. So yes, that 3-gate expand from WhiteRa, there you have it. So both players going with the safe expand builds. The 3-gate expand would be the safe, somewhat quick expand build for a Protoss player, and again, we saw that 1 base opening expand from Mr. DarKFoRcE. Actually, getting quite a few Zerglings right now. Going to do a little bit more than scouting here. He's actually going to try to just poke and prod, see if he can do a little bit of damage. One Zergling right here actually being able to spot that Expo right now, so he knows it's coming. He's going to move in, like I said, to try to see if he can do any damage. Here comes a Forge as well for upgrades and or cannons. And yeah, Zergling's just going to move around. They can see, hey, can I get any damage done? Can I surround him? No, I cannot. The Zealot moved in plus those sentries, so I'm going to chill on back home. Maybe keep a Zergling somewhere around here and pull it on back up back here to see if we can get another scout and maybe do any more harassment later down the road. Not going to be able to move in. This is really nice building placement from WhiteRa. It makes it much harder for those Zerglings to kind of sneak sneak right on through and try to run right into the main. They have to actually, instead of cutting this angle, they have to move right around here, and that gives them much more opportunities also to drop force field. So you can see even the space right here, perfect force field opportunity to cut units off that try to run through. Zergling's just going to be poking and prodding, but unfortunately for them, not going to be able to do much of anything. DarKFoRcE layer just about finished. Does have that extractor up, not saturating that. There we go, finally moving in. Probably going to see another extractor come down sometime soon here as well. Here's that layer. Almost going to expect that roach speed to come on through. What is WhiteRa going to be doing? Is he going into Robo? No, actually getting a Stargate. There you have it. So sitting on these 3 gateways, here comes that 4th and that Stargate. So maybe seeing some Void Rays, going to be very effective. Going to be able to take care of this. He may actually, he could get some Phoenixes. It's a little bit late for Phoenix play. I guess Phoenix plays would work regardless at any point in the game, but the big danger is that at this point in the game, DarKFoRcE could very well be working up to Hydralisk. So Phoenix is going to be much less effective. Void Rays can still work pretty well against Hydralisk just because Hydras are so slow off the creep. So he could still do a decent amount of harassment here with some Void Rays. But let's see. We'll have to wait and see. Brood Roaches coming on through over here for DarKFoRcE. DarKFoRcE pretty much just working pretty hard in his economy. You can see now, in fact, coming down for that 3rd. Zerglings in about 10 years are going to be able to take care of this. Zerglings are so bad against anything armored. It's pretty hilarious. DarKFoRcE moving down with those roaches to try to help work on this a little bit quicker. DarKFoRcE also, of course, going to be connecting his bases with that creep. Creep so wonderfully useful as a Zerg player. I guess, I mean, who else would it be useful? How is it going to be useful as a Protoss player? Anyways, here comes that Overseer Scout, and there is that expected Void Ray, and actually a Robo coming out after that. So we're going to be seeing an attempted Death Ball here from Mr. WhiteRa, going with those Void Rays, and going to be probably working up to Colossus as well. Managed to drop that Overseer, but in all honesty, DarKFoRcE got what he needed. He saw that Stargate, he saw that Robo coming on through as well, so he pretty much knows what the likely unit composition here of WhiteRa is going to be. Really nice defensive posture. Also, these 2 pylons back here. It's going to make it, again, very difficult. The whole point is to try to cut back on possible Zergling movement. So Zergling's really only avenue right now is right through here or right through here. And with all these sentries, can force field, it's going to be really, really effective for him. Something else to note is that overall, WhiteRa, very small army, only 25 army supply. We're 10 minutes into the game. He's just sticking with a small army because he's working on hard tech and he's working on a hard economy. And he's able to do that with this wonderful wall off here. Now, we do have this one Void Ray that did move down. I am sorry I missed that. Luckily, he only did manage to get 1 kill, so hopefully I didn't miss too much. There's that Phoenix that was moving around to scout as well. No kills for him, but scouting was the main purpose. Let's see what WhiteRa saw. WhiteRa saw pretty much everything. He knows basically exactly what's going on right now. Hydra's trying to move down, but again, off creep. This Void Ray is actually going to be quite fine. And now it needs to be careful. Hydra is going to catch it, do a lot of damage. Oh my god, so bad. WhiteRa losing that Void Ray. You can just see again how quickly Hydras are able to drop those. Just so much damage there. And here we go. DarKFoRcE actually looking to move into a 4th here as well. 2 more Phoenix Scouts going to move on across. Not likely to get any kills here, but just try to be a little harassing. Gonna get 1? Yes, he didn't even get it, did he? What a crappy job, Phoenix. This one Phoenix here very low. That obviously with that Spore Crawler makes that much more difficult. Here we go. You can get a Zergling. You gonna do it? There we go. Free Zergling kill. Better than nothing. Go back home, you useless. Overseer moving on down, Observer moving on down rather for Mr. WhiteRa. Gonna get some continuous scouting here. Nice creep spread as we have seen so far. Another kill. Look at that. Phoenix is awesome. 2 Zerglings. That is all you were worth. And moving on down here, WhiteRa is going to be, in fact, trying to get his 3rd as well. Luckily for DarKFoRcE, with this nice scouting Zergling, he's going to be fully aware of that. And WhiteRa, as expected, working on that Protoss Death Ball. So what we are going to see DarKFoRcE do is we're going to see him actually move into his 4th, and he wants to have a lot of bases. He wants to have queens knocking up each one of those bases with that inject larva, and that's going to allow him to re-up his army once a big fight does come. Because we're seeing that big Protoss Death Ball, it's very difficult for your first wave as a Zerg player to actually be able to fully wipe them out if we're looking at like a big 200 out of 200 battle, which based on the way this game's been progressing, I almost expect that. I'm not sure. I guess there could be an attack at any moment right now, but both players looking to move into an additional expansion. Again, WhiteRa moving here at his 3rd, and we are seeing DarKFoRcE move into his 4th here as well. So when you get that big 200 to 200 battle, a lot of times the Protoss player is able to prevail when you're kind of evenly matched to that point. But the whole thing is Zerg is that you're able, again, to re-up your army so very quickly. You sit on a lot of extra larvae, so that as soon as that battle's done, you can pump out whatever you need. Ton of Zerglings, ton of Roaches, couple more Corruptors, whatever you need to deal with what your Protoss opponent has. Phoenix is, again, still keeping up their harassment. Let's see if they've got any more kills, these guys. 1 kill, 3 kills. Look at that, 4 total kills between you Phoenixes. All right, you're a little bit more worthy now. I W worthy. Roach moving down for his scout. Going to spot that third here of WhiteRa. Going to try to do a little bit of damage, but unfortunately going to get taken care of here from this push from these units here from WhiteRa. There you go. Roach is gone. Nice creep spread. Really loving this here. WhiteRa may actually move down with a couple of units to try to take care of a couple of these. Try to deny the vision. The real big thing is you just want to kill that advancing creep tumor, and then he can't move any more forward. Especially since DarKFoRcE only pushing out with 2 creep tumors. So if you can get that advancing one, he's going to actually have to move up with another queen to try to continue up that spread. And Overlord Scout with that speed going to be moving straight on in. So he wants to check exactly the unit composition. And he wants to know if he has to deal with any DT or anything like that. Maybe get a couple more Overseers in his base in case he did see that Dark Shrine. But seeing nothing right there, just gateways that he already basically knew of. And lots of Zerglings moving across. We know those Corruptors moving on. And this is not good. WhiteRa is almost getting caught out of position. Nice force fields though. Is he going to be okay? This is very dangerous right now. WhiteRa does not have a ton of forces, sitting at 71 as opposed to the larger army of DarKFoRcE, and this is not looking good for WhiteRa. Lots of damage, some additional reinforcements here. Corruptors managing to take us out, but we do have some reinforcing Stalkers, and that may very well save him. Not sure though. These Hydras do so much damage, and WhiteRa not in a good position, losing his force before he was able to take full advantage of everything, and the Zerglings moving on in here as well, doing a lot of damage and actually forcing guys off the line there, and WhiteRa losing a lot right now, trying to warp in a few more units. He's going to have enough though. We do have these Corruptors and just chilling out here, trying to get some corruption down on these units. Hydras might get mopped up here, and in fact it looks like they may. We do have some reinforcements coming down as well, but at the same time the Zerglings still in the main base, and WhiteRa's taking so many losses economically, losing absolutely tremendous amounts of workers right now. WhiteRa's pretty much got not a lot of mining right now. He's just mining out of this base, but those are going to take care of that right now. And this Roach Hydra push catching WhiteRa's army out of position, hitting with the Zerglings here at the natural, completely devastating. DarKFoRcE, very nice job, my friend. Pretty impressive, I'd have to say. He caught some of WhiteRa's units out of position here with those Roaches, Hydras, and Corruptors. Was able to take down this Colossus very quickly at the exact same time, hitting with Zerglings here at the natural, and then waltzing right up into the main. Let's take a look how many workers he ended up killing there. 49 total workers killed for DarKFoRcE. So there you have it. Very, very effective attack there. Definitely something you want to do as a Zerg player. Trying to hit with Speedlings at an expansion while there's another big engagement going on can be incredibly devastating, especially if that opponent is distracted by whatever fight you do have going on. So there you go. Game number 2 in this best of 3 series between these two players. We will be moving on to game number 3 in just one moment. And as always, guys, if you like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Keep watching and keep owning.